primarily run assault rifles. Krim can alter between the two. Really, Scump's the only one. You want to keep him in the submachine gun role, but the others can change. You see the Vesper goes early. VMP gets protected, so that's interesting. Krim probably thought that Apotheon had something up their sleeve where they were going to try and go at those SMGs.
Yeah, that was a thumbs up and a high five to Scump, I think. He locked that down, make sure his sub player is going to have a solid gun to use, and then you see the Protect coming in for the M8. Curious to see who was the one that locked that down, on which side of the face.
Yeah, Scump actually just bringing that. It looks like they're just high-fiving each down the line, right? Krim says, here you go, Scump, here's your VMP. And then he looks down to Foreman, he goes, here you go, there's your M8. Let's just all go with what we're comfortable in this last game.
Exactly. Bans, in my opinion, are to eliminate stuff for the other team. Protects are to really just play your game. And that's what you get there. You get the two weapons that all those guys are the best with. You lock them up for your squad. That's scary for me if you're Apotheon.
You know, Apotheon, I would like to see them attack this Optic gaming squad a little bit more. Okay, you see the L-car is going to go
How
from
do you
formal,
once those two are protected? Once you have the VMP and M8, how do you attack them much?
Stock, Red Dot.
Stock.
Yeah.
One of those two. I think that probably hurts it, but I think we're going to see more of the route of going towards the pistols, ruining those sidearms for the ARs. So you have the M8. You're going to have to pretty much play with that the entire time, even those close-range engagements. And you see final ban come in from Apotheon. They're going to get rid of those reflex sights, going to force the guys in Optic to play with the ELO.
Yeah, and this is a scary first map to a degree, too. Fringe, probably the most played map we saw in Scrims leading in. It's a favorite map of pretty much every professional player. You want to get something where maybe you can catch them off their game. I don't think Fringe is going to be it. But as we hop in here to the specialists, you see Annihilator coming in first for Krim. On the other side, Overdrive for Fizzerp. We saw Overdrive used very well by Theory in the last Fringe.
Yeah, I mean, overall, today, Overdrive, I think we saw a lot more usage and effectiveness out of that ability. And then Heatwave coming back for Lacefield. We saw that kind of hit or miss today, but overall still in the positive zone when people look at that ability.
I wonder how that reflex is going to affect this game, though. You know, Fringe, long lines of sight. You know, they get that gun that they're used to. Are they going to have to run, you know, just straight iron sights? How comfortable is it, guys like Karma and Formal with the ELO? Because this is the first time we've seen the ELO sight in Call of Duty. You know, Formal's only seen that one sight with the AR. How is that going to affect his gameplay?
I don't think that it would much. I mean, I thought that we saw it kind of affect Proofy yesterday, but then again, after hearing how ill he was feeling, I don't know how much it was that.
Right?
Yeah, so you would think when you play this much at this level, the sights are similar enough. It's a dot on your screen that you could be able to go back and forth, but you know, time will tell.
Yeah, I think with the range, it would affect it, though.
Right, there's that subtle difference in how much closer you get a look. I mean, it's very subtle, but on a map like this where it is all about those long-range shots, maybe, you know, being a little bit off your comfort zone can make a difference. But then again, when you're talking about Optic, is a little difference really going to be good enough for your team to catch up?
It does when you've been warming up all day and you've been using the reflex all day, and then somebody just takes it away.
Honestly, I know there is the potential for a lot of long-range gunfights, but when you really think about it, on the first hard point, sure, when you have Top Grandma's the barn, maybe on tracks, which doesn't really matter that much because that's just a contest battle back and forth regardless. The other hard points, it's not really that big of a factor, is it?
Well, when you're trying to hold those anchor positions, it is. When you're trying to push those players on the anchor. And, you know, this is something that's, when we've seen Optic lose hard points in this game, it's really rotating and stuff like that. That's what's really hurt them. So that's where you want to try and hurt them even more if you're a team like Apotheon.
All right, well, Matt, I just want to hear from you, you know, former professional player, former coach of a professional team.
Oh, I love it. It's on your resume, man.
But I want one single thing for you for Apotheon. What do they need to do in this hard point to have a chance?
They got to rotate early. I mean, you know, we've heard Fizzerp talk about rotations before, and they need to happen. You know, going to get to those hard points early. This is a map you get rewarded for rotating to the next hills early.
Yeah, we've seen that so far when we've watched it, and most people who, if you've been playing the game, you've definitely played a lot of hardpoint on this map, and you've heard it time and time again, whether it's from the pros, whether it's just from your own games with your friends. It's going to be an important one in positioning on whether you can get that spawn near Gramus right behind it, and whether you can always rotate to the next one. Let's find out how this one kicks off. Is Optic going to continue living up to the expectations that everyone has for those 4 players, or is Apotheon going to continue that hype train they started on day 1? We're going to find out in-game with none other than Courage and Revit.
Thank you, gentlemen. Our final qualifying match of the night. It's going to be Optic Gaming versus Apotheon Esports. Courage joined by Revan here at the casting desk. Revan, you look excited for this one. Fringe hard point. Break it down for me. What do you expect to see between these two teams?
Well, this one is going to be a battle of the assault rifles, Courage. And fears for Apotheon Esports He's got a tall order to heaven. You got to go up against Formal. You got to go up against Crim and Karma. I'm expecting Scump to be the main SMG here for Optic Gaming. As he's making his way towards Bricks, it looks like he might be the first one for Optic to enter the hardpoint. But Alpathion off to a strong start. They get 3 quick kills.
Well, guess what? You got Scump picking up 2 of his own. You saw the VMP Protect coming in early from Crim6. That's going to be Scump's weapon of choice really throughout this whole series if the Vesper continues to be banned. But Formal right now sitting in elbow with that M8. You fully expect him to rock the AR for Optic Gaming. Unfortunately, though, he does get cut down. Right now, every single player on Apotheon sitting at 2-2. As I say that, Legal does get dropped.
Yeah, Scump was in a good position. He was behind enemy lines. Now we're moving over to Crim6, and this map, Fringe, it really plays like your traditional hardpoint. You rotate early, you got clear anchor positions. As Crim starting to heat up on the map, gets 2 kills. As Optic Gaming, they're going to be looking to get the rest of the scrap time. Looking at the minimap, Apotheon Esports, they're clearly ahead of Optic on this rotation.
That timing for Crim6 wound up working out in his favor as he spotted Fizzerp pushing towards that back pickup truck. Unfortunately, though, the MR6 pistol is quite good to say the least as Legal continues to push out that back alley early into this game. Apotheon with the slight lead, but as we saw earlier today, Revan, this hardpoint setup, the new rule set that has come into play in Black Ops 3 means anyone can come back no matter how large of a deficit. Right now, though, Optic Gaming in control of the hardpoint and the lead.
So Fizzerp had a Shiva out for his last life. Quickly put that away as he makes his way into the hardpoint. Takes out Crim6 looking for more. It's going to be the Optic player setting up over near the auto side of that hardpoint, but Fizzerp did get that overdrive, so if he's ever late on a specific rotation, he could, of course, pop that. Formal earning the HCXD. With 20 seconds remaining on this hardpoint, I want to see Optic push through auto, start fighting for position over near Grandma's, because that's where the anchor wants to set up for these next 2 hardpoints.
Formal does see Legal. Unfortunately, the M8 shots aren't enough. Optic Gaming doing a fantastic job locking down this junkyard hardpoint. They've now expanded themselves out to about a 30-second lead. The rotation coming in. What is the ideal setup you want to see? Is this it right now for the boys of Apotheon?
Yeah, and I really love what Optic is doing right here. Not fighting through auto. It's really tough to get out there. You got to worry about silos, somebody outside the door. They're all going to be going right through the train tracks. And Karma, he broke the anchor. This is exactly what you want to be set up. He's going to spot one player going through the top window. And now what he wants to do is just lock down that auto side of the map. That's where the most players for Apotheon are going to be pushing through. And now they're going to be challenging the anchor. Karma, once again, just staying alive. However, Optic, they just haven't been able to get inside this hardpoint just yet.
So back and forth is this game number 1. Hopefully a story to tell for the rest of this series. Karma doing all he can now with that pistol in hand. You can see the lead that Optic Gaming had from that auto hardpoint has now been diminished down to just 5 seconds. Back in control are the boys of the green wall. The M8s all over the map for this squad, but there's Lacefield and Fizzerp with that VMP in the kill feed.
You know, got to give it up to Apotheon. Going into this matchup, I wasn't sure how they were going to do against the strong assault rifles of Optic Gaming, but these guys, they're hanging in there. They're already at the tracks hard point, and they got one player inside, but here comes Karma around the tracks. Is he going to check this corner? He is not. He gets taken down by Lacefield, moving over to Legal. He's the one doing the dirty work inside the hill. Does get taken down by Formal, and this hard point, it's all about contesting. You know, there's so many spots you could use a lot of cover. Just jump on the train and wait for them to wall run in and trust in your assault rifles to look over you. Well,
we're about that point in the game where the specialists will begin to come into play. Formal does have his scythe. Would you like to see him save it for that next rotation of the first hard point, or well, it looks like he's going to whip it out right now with this contest heavy hill, shuts down the Annihilator. That is exactly how you want to see him use it. He does still have that HCXD. Wouldn't be surprised to see him stack it, but instead, Lacefield has other plans as he drops him right there. Still only 24 seconds separating these two teams, and now Crim6 has an Annihilator of his own. Look for him to make a massive impact on this Rails hardpoint.
Yeah, that scythe can be very scary when you got that player setting up inside the hardpoint. You can get those score streaks very quickly. Crim6, he is not missing with anything right here. Now going to challenge over near top barn. He gets that lightning strike. He's going to be working towards more streaks as he's 16 and 11 right now, and he's going to waste no time with this. His teammates set up inside the hardpoint, pings the lightning strike, calls him out. Let's see if he picks up any kills with it.
Well, he gets one, gets a second as well. That's going to earn him his lightning strike. Now 100 points off his own child. The robot gets the Cerberus. We'll see when he winds up giving birth to that one on the map. Tries to call it in. Unfortunately, not as of yet. Quite fitting for the robot himself to call that one in. Right now, though, 112 to 67. Optic Gaming beginning to pull away. And, you know, this is when Apotheon needs to buckle down. They can't let this lead get too far out of hand, or else, well, Optic Gaming is going to play this game to how they want to. And right now, it looks like it's going to go that way as Fizzerp and his squad are really struggling to stay in. He's got that Shiva out. One of the first times we've seen it today, not able to make too much happen.
I mean, he has the most kills on his team, right? So the Shiva is fairly effective, but it's been a constant ban. We just haven't seen that much. Lacefield 7 and 14, Legal 10 and 18. These guys need to step it up. You cannot have a bad game against Optic Gaming. These are some of the best guys in the business at punishing you for your mistakes.
Yeah, exactly, Revan. And right now it's paying off. You can see Scump, 1 minute and 16 seconds already inside the hard point. His kind of co-support player there in Crimsix, who's really adopted that role throughout all of Advanced Warfare and now into Black Ops 3. I mean, when you have the likes of Karma and Formal with those ARs locking down the map, you might as well hop in the hard point. 140 to 90. Apotheon doing all they can to stay in this game, but guess what? Karma's got the Zeus weapon. He's got that Tempest, unfortunately not going to connect with more than one. There's a team kill out of Fizzer momentarily, and now the Cerebus has entered the hard point.
And you know, Optic Gaming, they really didn't get too much time out of this hard point. The Cerebus does provide some difficulty for Apotheon, but only 15 seconds remaining in this hard point. Apotheon, they're just going to back up. Big battle's going to go down here with Legal. He needs to win these fights as he takes down Crimsix on rotation. They just need to hold this setup. You know, we've seen it in so many games today. No lead is safe. So Apotheon, they're still in this game. They just need to make sure they get their ideal setup and make sure they get these kills in transition and on defense inside the hard point.
Well, the first time we were at Granny's, it was Apotheon with the perfect setup. They were only able to hold it for about 25 seconds. We'll see if they can hold on a little bit longer this time around. It already looks like Optic Gaming has broken through the first line of defense. And oh, here comes the green wall, flanking from all different angles, and somehow Lacefield gets the better of Karma there, and with the help of his teammates, they should be able to close this one out. Somehow, though, Formal still making it happen with that close range M8, and there's Scump with the break. Optic Gaming looking unstoppable here in map number 1.
I mean, you say unstoppable, but they're only up by 50 points. For the most part, that's not really that big of a lead. As you see, Fierce, he's starting to find her groove. He's now +5. He also has the most time in the hardpoint, which is what I didn't expect. Usually you don't see Fierce playing the objective for his team, but you know, when duty calls, he answers it. As Scump still racking up time inside this hardpoint. Optic Gaming, they're clearly outslaying their opponents, but Apotheon, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
Absolutely not, Revan, but right now this is where Optic Gaming likes to take things over. They've now gotten early control of rails. A contest coming in from Apotheon. You mentioned the slaying power right now. Optic Gaming on a combined 8, make it 9 streak with the help of Formal Sight there. He's 50 points off his first score streak. We'll see if he's able to get that one. They have now breached the 200-point mark, and they are closing in on an early map 1 victory. Almost the body stack there in Little Room, coming back to haunt Apotheon, but it's an 80-second lead and growing. And for all Green Wall fans out there, this is what you wanted to see in map number 1.
Yeah, now they're starting to play away with this game as Crimsix, he's going to post up, picks up 2. Karma helping him out there. All 4 go down for Apotheon. Crimsix taking out the Annihilator, and he's got more score streaks to work with. Crimsix, does he ever miss with this Annihilator?
Apparently, he's about to drop his second child of this map. The Cerebus, 25 points away. We'll see if he winds up getting it. He's going to call on his Lightning Strike just to do it. This game getting out of hand quickly as Optic Gaming are beginning to run away with this one. Crimsix just holding on to the Annihilator, connects with it as well. He's got himself full streaks again. What a performance right now out of Crimsix. 33 and 22.
Okay, he missed the shot. He's human.
Scump, almost 3 minutes of hill time as well. I mean, you got to give a shout out to him. Yes, you mentioned how Apotheon were doing all they can to stay in this one, but I mean, when Crim is on a 10, make it an 11 streak as well. There's really no way you're going to win a Fringe hardpoint.
And when you have your assault rifle players like Crim and Formal dropping numbers they're dropping right now, it takes a lot of pressure off for Scump to perform. And quite frankly, there's not much he needs to do inside the hard point. You know, Formal and Crim are slaying everything outside. The Hellstorm comes in, but it actually gets shot down. Great job from Apotheon, but, you know, only 15 seconds need to be acquired for Optic Gaming. They just need to make 1 early rotation, and they should be able to close this game out.
Yeah, Wally, the sequel, sitting in the middle of the map, picking up the 2-piece, trying to do all he can to stay alive. 13 seconds now, and Optic Gaming will close out this first map. Legal, Lacefield really struggling in this game number 1, and it really does reflect in the score as OG look to close it out on Junkyard.
Yeah, it looks like that might be it. Courage, 4 seconds. That's going to do it. Optic Gaming, oh no, wait, a contest coming in from Apotheon Esports, but it's quickly cleaned up. 1 more point needs to be scored, and that is going to do it. 40 kills dropped by Crimsix as they roll through Apotheon on map number 1.
Positive 32 in the slaying department. There's your final kill cam from Formal. What a performance from them in game number 1. Let's send it back over to Chobra, Matt, and Maven at the analyst desk.
Well, gentlemen, you know, kind of what you expect from, I think, all four of them putting up great scores. Of course, Crim 6 and Formal going off.
An 11 kill spree at the end by Crim. Cerberus.